Let's understand the flowchart diagram.
Hello all you techies, welcome to Tech Corner. I'm Dhruti and today we are going to see how to visually represent your code. Remember in the previous blogs we have seen how to write a program, how to write an algorithm. We are going to today see how to visually represent an algorithm or a code. So for that we are going to use the simplest you can say visual representation technique, and that is the flowchart. So let's start. Okay, so let's understand first of all what is a flowchart diagram. So this flowchart diagram is used to visually represent your processes, your workflows, your algorithms and several other things. Mainly a flowchart diagram will be using symbols in order to depict the various aspects of your program, the steps of your program or process, and we'll use lines or arrowheads to connect those steps, okay, to indicate the flow of your code or your program. These flowcharts are not just used for visual representation, they also help for a lot of things. It helps you to create a documentation of your code or program. You can analyze your code program by seeing visually how it's going to actually work. Okay, you can maintain your data, your code and programs in this visual representation technique. So let's go ahead and see what are the various symbols that it uses in order to represent your program. Okay, so on screen you can see there are some symbols which have been shown to you, and with each of them given a term of what it is going to represent. For example, the oval angled triangle, rectangle is going to represent the terminal. Then we have a rectangle for a process, we have a parallelogram for input output, a line with an arrowhead as a flow line, then we have connectors, we have annotation, we also have a predefined process that can be called into an existing on the current process. So there are several other symbols also which are used based on, for example, database symbol, there is a symbol for a text document depending on what kind of documentation you're doing. But these are the most commonly used symbols that you see on screen, and we're going to see them one by one for you to better understand what is the purpose of each of the symbols. So let's go ahead. Okay, so let's see the various symbols one by one. So first of all, we'll see the terminal and then the input-output symbol. The terminal symbol, as I told you, is represented as a rectangle with oval or rounded edges. This is used to show the start or the end of a process, and appropriate labels are put inside the symbol to indicate the begin or end of a process. The input-output symbol is used to show what data is going to get entered or exited or outputted from the, what did I say? Outputted? No, it's going to be displayed out of the program, and we use a parallelogram to represent the input-output of the process. Fine. So the next set of symbols is the decision box and the flow line. As the name suggests, decision box, it's going to make some decision. Okay, so whenever you have a condition that you need to evaluate, whether it's going to be true or false, or something is yes or no, that's when you have to use a decision box, and you have to take the appropriate path, action based on whether the decision is coming to true or false. Secondly, the flow line is again very simple. It is indicated as an arrowhead. Oops, sorry, I forgot to tell you, the decision is indicated as a diamond, and the flow line is indicated as a line with an arrowhead to show you the direction of the flow of your program. So it's pretty simple, right? Okay, so the next symbol is the process symbol, which is a simple rectangle which allows you to show what operations you want to do on the data, whether it is addition, subtraction, multiplication, or some kind of other process that you want to do on the data that was entered into your process. And the connectors, the names itself, they suggest they are used to connect. So when the flowchart becomes very huge and it is spread across the whole page, then you can use connectors instead of using long lines to make it less confusing. And then you can put labels inside A, B, C, D, whatever, to show where the flowchart is connecting, the remaining part of the flowchart. And if the flowchart is going beyond the page and then the process is too huge, then you can use the parallelogram symbol.
Sorry, I mean the pentagon symbol.
The flowchart is going on the next page, and then again you put labels to show which page it is getting connected to. So it's pretty simple, don't worry. Alright, now the last two symbols, that is annotation and predefined processes. Annotation is nothing but a comment that you want to put against any of the symbols, other symbols to indicate or to further explain what exactly is going on in that particular step or in that particular symbol. So it's indicated as an open-ended rectangle with a line connecting it to a particular symbol, and then some text is written inside the annotation to indicate or explain what exactly that symbol is doing. And then the predefined process, sometimes you want to use an existing process which is already defined earlier to become a part of the current process. Then you can use the double-edged rectangle and put the name of that process inside of that rectangle to indicate, okay, this process is going to be done elsewhere, and then result will be used by this process. So it's pretty simple, annotation and predefined process.
Alright, let's see a few examples of how to use flowcharts. So on screen you can see there are two examples, one to show the process of making tea and the other to add two numbers. Now on the left you can see that the process has been started by using the terminal symbol indicating the start of the process. Next we have used a parallelogram to indicate what will be the input for the process, that is tea, sugar and milk. After that we are using two rectangles to indicate what process has to be done on these ingredients, that is add the contents to a container and put it on a stove, then start the stove. Next we are using the connector symbol because the flowchart is not fitting vertically, so we have used the on-page connector with the symbol A, and then on the right we are continuing with the flowchart by showing the connector with the same symbol. Okay, the next step is again a process, that is boil until properly cooked. So then we are going to check how to indicate whether the process to stop or not. So for that we are using the decision box that will check whether the tea is boiled and cooked or not. If not, then we create a loop. Okay, we take the no path and we create a loop back to the process, that is boil until properly cooked. So this will go on until the tea is boiled and cooked properly. Once it is done, the path followed will be the one which is yes, and then another process to be done, that is stop the stove and serve the tea. And then we need to indicate that the process has stopped by using another terminal symbol with the label stop. So this is how you create a simple flowchart for showing the process of making tea. Okay, now let's take another example of a more technical type to show the process of addition of two numbers. On screen on the right you can see we have taken another flowchart where we have again used the terminal symbol to show the start of the process. Next, in the parallelogram symbol we have written input A and B. Now we need to indicate to the user what exactly is A and B. So that's why we have taken an annotation symbol to indicate that it means you have to enter any two numbers. So A and B are supposed to be numbers. Next we have taken a process symbol, that is the rectangle, to indicate what has to be done on A and B. So we are doing A plus B and then assigning the value to the variable C. Okay, and then we are again using a parallelogram to show the output, and that is display C. Next we are using the terminal symbol again with the stop label to indicate that the process is stopped. So this is how you create a flowchart for adding two numbers. I guess it's pretty simple and much simpler than the previous one because we are using very few symbols and still depicting the entire process very easily.
Okay guys, so that's all from me from TechCorner-Programming basic section today. Let's do a quick summary of what we have done. We've seen what is a flowchart. It is a visual representation technique for your processes and programs. You've seen several symbols like terminal for showing the start and end of a process, input output to show the entry and exit of data. We've seen the decision box which shows the true and false path of a decision, the flow line which shows the actual path or flow of your flowchart or process. We've seen the process box which shows what can be done or what is to be done on the data and the steps of the program. We have seen the annotation which allows you to do the commenting part, and predefined processes which can be inserted into the existing process. Further, we have seen connectors which help you to connect the flowchart across the pages or on the same page when the flowchart is becoming very huge. So this is all guys, and I hope you have understood first of all, and if you have not understood then please write to me on itcom@gmail.com. You can post your comments in the comment section and let me know if you need any other specific tutorials. I'll surely make for you. Okay then, take care, goodbye, and don't forget to smile because smiles are contagious. Adios!